Hey all. So we're going to have a really fun and different style exercise we're going to work with today. It's sort of a breathing exercise, but it's actually a way of using breath for affecting the physiology in the body, especially for postural muscles under the viscera, largely related to our respiratory diaphragm, which is that muscle that some of us may know about that separates the viscera above and the viscera below. So the respiratory and the heart organs, and then the digestive organs below. And it's also, besides just a separator, it's a muscle that's helping with our breathing, and it also connects into our lumbar spine. And then there's a few other muscles around there that relate to stabilizing and postural. These exercises we'll work with today are about breathing, but you may notice afterwards how you're standing a little different. And I'll encourage doing a standing before and then a standing afterwards to give yourself a experiential sense of the difference. It's an exercise I really love. I think it's something you can do every day, and it helps to not just give you a sense of difference, but to help you reset the balanced length of the muscles that are held deeper within, that are affecting your posture and your comfort in life. So what I'm going to recommend is you maybe listen once, because it's a little different. Listen once and then follow along and do. And then once you get it, you actually can put the video aside and just do it yourself. I mean, there's 3 breathing exercises that are pretty easy. Just the details to figure it out are a little different. But again, once you get it, pretty cool. So I don't want to talk too much here. I want to get into the exercise, which is going to have me talking as well while I talk you through it. But as always, if you have questions or comments, or something is working or isn't, send me a message, and I'm really happy to share whatever I can share with you. So that being said, let's get into the exercise, shall we? Lie on your back on the floor with knees bent and facing upwards, the feet resting on the floor, and your arms folded over your chest. This position provides a broader base of support instead of the usual narrower one which we're accustomed to when standing. Also, in this position, gravity is working through your body from the front to back instead of from head to foot. So the weight falls in a different relationship to each vertebrae of your spine. Pulls upon habitually strained muscles are lessened, and consequently easier to release these tense muscles than when the body is in the usual position. In this position, the diaphragm may adjust its rhythms to various, sometimes referred to tubular longitudinal breathing instead of a wide, full breathing. We're going to hiss the breath out between the teeth until no more can be hissed out when we run out of exhalation. After the forced exhalation, just sort of note where the bones of your back rest upon the floor, and specifically at the head, shoulders, hips, and in the end of the spine. And after discovering where there is greatest pressure upon the floor, experiment with a forced exhalation. So blow all the breath out through the nose until you cannot possibly exhale anymore. And then do not take a breath first. Your lungs have extra space for reserves. You'll be all right. And as you're expiring here, noticing are there certain parts of the body which tense more than others at the extreme end of your ability to exhale. When blowing air through the nose, the spot of greatest tension you'll probably will find is located in the upper part of the abdominal wall near the costal or rib arch. So after about 3 of these efforts are made, resting until a comfortable breathing is re-established between expirations, just note possible changes of bone pressure upon the floor. And during the rest periods, do not take an unusually full active breath. Just take a sort of slower one, not so deep. Next, we're going to try blowing the breath with a slow but forced expiration through the lips as though blowing out a candle. When the last gasp is reached, you may note that the very tense spot in the abdomen is lower down than before and covers a larger area than when blowing through the nose, although maybe a different tension. After a few times playing around with this and getting used to it, and noticing that there are different locations and pressures with each exercise, we're going to try a third method. Blowing the breath through the teeth with lips relaxed and with lips and tongue in no way getting in the way. So the teeth are loosely set and the tongue relaxed. We're going to hiss the breath out. Prolong the hissing to the extent of your residual air exhalation. And then note that the body has grown slightly smaller around under the arms and all around the thoracic cavity. Noticing how you may not feel as tight of a plate of contraction in the abdomen. And after repeating a few times and a few rest periods, note where the bones are now resting on the floor. And so these motions and these pressures, they're going to vary between everyone, as everyone has developed different body patterns. And while some of these readjustments may seem small, to almost be barely noticeable, the far-reaching changes that come from it are actually very big. And so I would recommend we practice this for a little while, a few days, maybe longer, to see the benefits growing from that. All right, thanks for coming out today. I hope this was an easy exercise, but also something that gave a good sense of change in your body. I don't know if you could see from before and after, but the way I was walking at the very end, as well as my height, was actually very different. And these muscles that are sometimes usually pulling me forward in this belly area had lengthened up a little bit and retoned, which is awesome. I've really been enjoying playing with this exercise the last few weeks and seeing the shifts in both my posture, but also um, my attitude towards life. Because part of what it's doing is helping my body readjust to gravitational forces, and instead of contracting in a pattern against it, it's letting go and moving into a pattern with it, which is pretty awesome. So as always, please, if you liked, click like. I'm trying to actually get information out there to people and learn how all these algorithms and social science things work. It's not my strong suit, so I appreciate all the help you guys can give to me. And I'll keep giving out great exercises that help you move better, breathe better, be better. Thanks, everyone. I'll see you at the next video.